Thanks so much for tuning in to the Talent Accelerator. I'm Dan Horgan, founder and CEO of the DG Horgan Group. Our mission is to drive impact through effective leadership across the talent pipeline. I'm also the author of the book, Tell Me I Can't and I Will. I'm here today to talk to you about two interesting concepts, gratitude and failure. Recently, I came across two articles about two entrepreneurs that really inspired me, and so I wanted to share their stories with you, but also share the concepts of gratitude and failure and how they've really inspired me in my own entrepreneurial journey. So, what have you failed at lately? What have you taken a risk and not succeeded the way that you expected to? Or what have you just fallen flat on your face and at the end of the day picked yourself back up, dusted it off, and said, I'm going back at this tomorrow? So Sara Blakely, the inventor of Spanx, recalls in the book Getting There that every night at dinner growing up, her father would ask, what have you failed at this week? And she talks about the inspiration behind that question and why so many people are paralyzed by failure. The question being asked to her growing up really positioned her or prepared her for this idea that failure was okay as long as we learn from it, as long as we grow from it, and as long as we continue to reflect on what we would do differently the next time, right? And so the sense of failure is really important for any entrepreneur, for any manager, or any leader, really. You know, we all take risks every day in our lives, and the degree to which those risks are, high risk or low risks really depends on the situation. But Sara's inspiration for me in reading her story, and particularly the question that her father asked her, really reminds us that as managers, as leaders, the importance of being able to step back, acknowledge our failures, to learn and grow from them, and to dust ourselves off, pick ourselves up, and keep on moving. It's that sense of hustle, that sense of willingness to learn from our mistakes, to grow, and to ultimately evolve into who we ultimately can be, which will differentiate us from others. So the idea of failure is juxtaposed with this concept of gratitude. So the Jacobs brothers, again, the founders of the $100 million t-shirt company Life is Good, in a recent December Business Insider article, talk about the inspiring question that their mom would ask them at dinner. And so that question was, tell me something good about your day. What happened that was great about today? And see, the story behind the Jacobs brothers here is that their parents were in a terrible car accident. And although their mom had broken a few bones, the father was unfortunately left without the use of his right arm, his right hand. And so it was really a struggle for him on a day-to-day basis. And so the household at times wasn't always the best. And the Jacob brothers recall that this question at dinner that their mom would pose to them and their 4 other siblings really inspired them to think about what were they grateful for? What were all the positive things that were happening in their lives? You know, with so many things on our plate, so many demands of our time, on our attention, it can be very easy for us to lose sense of the things that we are grateful for. It's easy for us to take a lot of things in life for granted. And so this concept, this idea that every day we take the time to identify something that was great that happened to us or identify something that we're grateful for is a really important reminder as leaders, as managers, to not dwell on all the negative, to hold us back in that regard, but to focus instead on the positive things that can move us forward, that we can build upon. Last year in 2015, one of the things that I did was created a gratitude jar. Simple little exercise as a reminder, a visual reminder, if you will, in your home. Just put a little jar, put a little piece of tape or a label on that jar that says gratitude jar, and every day think about something that you were grateful for, something that happened to you, that you witnessed, that you experienced, and write it on a Post-it note, fold it up, and stick it in the jar. And at the end of the year, when you go back through all of those little Post-it notes, it's a great reminder of all of the great things that have unfolded over the last 365 days of the year that you just completed. So thanks again for tuning into the Talent Accelerator. Again, the idea of gratitude and failure can really be catalyst for your change, for your growth, and for you to evolve into the potential that you really can.